Welcome to Flash News.
Coronavirus live updates. India reports 1,675 new COVID-19 cases, 31 deaths in 24 hours. New Delhi, India reported 1,675 new coronavirus cases today, taking the total tally of COVID-19 cases to 431,40,068, while the active cases increased to 14,841, according to the Union Health Ministry. The number of COVID-related deaths reached 5,24,490 with 31 more people dying due to the virus, the data showed. The active cases comprise 0.03% of the total infections, while the national COVID-19 recovery rate was recorded at 98.75%, the ministry said. Maharashtra sees 338 COVID-19 cases, highest since March 9. Active tally now 2,039. Maharashtra on Tuesday recorded 338 COVID-19 cases, the highest since March 9, taking the tally in the state to 78,83,348, while one death put the toll at 1,47,857, an official said. The addition to the tally on March 9 was 359, while it was 208 on Monday, the official pointed out. Mumbai accounted for 218 of the new cases, while the lone death was reported in Kalyan Dombivli Municipal Corporation limits in Thane district, which is part of the Mumbai metropolitan region, he said. Coronavirus live updates. Mumbai sees rise in addition to tally, reports 218 COVID-19 cases, active count now 1,430. Mumbai on Tuesday reported 218 COVID-19 cases, which is a substantial rise from the 150 cases registered a day earlier, taking the tally in the metropolis to 10,63,276, while the death toll remained unchanged at 19,566, a civic official said. Out of 218 new COVID-19 patients, 201 were asymptomatic, while none of the 17 who were hospitalized needed oxygen support, the official said, adding that just 48 of the 24,488 hospital beds earmarked for the pandemic are currently occupied. It was also the 8th consecutive day when the addition to the tally was above the 100 mark, he pointed out. Maharashtra reports 338 COVID-19 cases, highest since March 9. Maharashtra on Tuesday recorded 338 COVID-19 cases, the highest since March 9. Taking the tally in the state to 78,83,348, while one death put the toll at 1,47,857, an official said. The addition to the tally on March 9 was 359, while it was 208 on Monday, the official pointed out. Mumbai accounted for 218 of the new cases, while the lone death was reported in Kalyan Dombivli Municipal Corporation limits in Thane district, which is part of the Mumbai metropolitan region, he said. So far, 77,33,452 persons have been discharged post-recovery, including 276 in the last 24 hours, leaving the state with 2,039 active cases. Jammu and Kashmir reports 3 new COVID-19 cases. Jammu and Kashmir reported 3 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday, taking the infection tally in the Union Territory to 4,54,207, officials said here. All the 3 cases were reported from Jammu district, the officials said here. There are 57 active cases in the Union Territory, while the number of recoveries has reached 4,49,398, they said. The COVID-19 death toll in the Union Territory stands at 4,752 as no fresh fatality was reported in the last 24 hours. Puducherry logged 7 new COVID-19 cases. Puducherry logged 7 fresh COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, taking the overall caseload to 165,843, a senior official of the Department of Health said. The Union Territory continued to record 0 fatalities as the cumulative death toll remained at 1,962. The 7 new infections were detected at the end of the testing of 1,519 samples in the last 24 hours ending 10 a.m. on Tuesday, Director of Health G. Sriramalu in a release here. He said 2 patients recovered during the last 24 hours and the overall recoveries stood at 1,63,854. Mumbai reports 218 new COVID-19 cases. Mumbai on Tuesday reported 218 COVID-19 cases, which is a substantial rise from the 150 cases registered a day earlier, taking the tally in the metropolis to 10,63,276, while the death toll remained unchanged at 19,566, a civic official said. Out of 218 new COVID-19 patients, 201 were asymptomatic, while none of the 17 who were hospitalized needed oxygen support, the official said, adding that just 48 of the 24,488 hospital beds earmarked for the pandemic are currently occupied. The recovery count increased by 158 in the last 24 hours to touch 10,42,280, taking the active caseload in the city to 1,430, the Brihanmumbai Municipal Corporation official said. Puducherry reports 7 new COVID-19 cases. Puducherry logged 7 fresh COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, taking the overall caseload to 1,65,843, a senior official of the Department of Health said. The Union Territory continued to record 0 fatalities as the cumulative death toll remained at 1,962. The 7 new infections were detected at the end of the testing of 1,519 samples in the last 24 hours ending 10 a.m. on Tuesday, Director of Health G. Sriramulu in a release here. COVID-19, Kerala to conduct special vaccination drive for children. The Kerala Health Department is gearing up to conduct a 3-day COVID-19 vaccination drive exclusively for children from May 25. The objective of the drive was to vaccinate as many children as possible in view of the reopening of the schools next month after summer vacation, State Health Minister Veena George said on Tuesday. It is being organized in collaboration with schools, residents' associations, and volunteer groups, she said, adding that children can receive the shots in all major hospitals by registering in the COWIN portal or through spot registration at the respective centers. School ID cards or Aadhaar cards are mandatory for children to get vaccinated, the minister said, and directed the officials concerned to ensure that all children of this age group are vaccinated in the state. Madhya Pradesh's Indore sees COVID-19 death after 6 months. Madhya Pradesh's Indore city has reported a COVID-19 casualty after nearly 6 months, with the death of an 80-year-old woman at a private hospital, a health official said today. The woman, who had taken both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, was suffering from heart disease, high blood pressure and diabetes since a long time, he said. After nearly 6 months, a patient succumbed to COVID-19 infection at a private hospital in the city on Monday, Chief Medical and Health Officer, CMHO, Dr. B.S. Setya said. The woman was suffering from heart disease and high blood pressure for a long time, and when her condition deteriorated, she was admitted to a hospital where she tested positive for coronavirus, he said. Though the woman had taken both doses of the vaccine, doctors were unable to save her during treatment, the CMHO said. Indore was the most affected city in the state due to COVID-19, but now infections have come down drastically. As per official data, 5 new cases were reported in the city in the last 24 hours, taking the tally of infections to 2,07,973, including 1,462 fatalities. India's COVID vaccination coverage exceeds 192.52 crore. India's COVID vaccination coverage exceeded 192.52, 1,92,52,70,955 crores on Tuesday as per provisional reports by 7 p.m., informed the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. COVID vaccination for the age group 12 to 14 years was started on March 16, 2022. So far, more than 3.30 cr. 3,30,30,574 adolescents have been administered with the first dose and 1,45,07,116 with the second dose of COVID vaccine. According to the ministry, of the total doses administered so far to the healthcare workers, HLWs, 1,04,06,595 have received the first dose, 1,0035,344 have received the second vaccine dose, and 51,36,312 have been administered the precaution dose. Also, 1,84,18,391 frontline workers were administered the first dose, 1,75,75,713 with the second dose, and 84,59,229 with the precaution doses. A total of 55,69,01,963 vaccine doses were administered as the first dose, 48,77,63,523 vaccine doses were given as the second dose, and 6,29,188 precaution doses as in the age group 18 to 44 years. Similarly, for the age group of 45 to 59 years, 20,32,04,546 have received the first dose, 19,0333,465 have received the second dose, and 12,13,929 have been administered the precaution doses, whereas 12,70,59,147 vaccine doses were administered as the first dose, 11,86,75,559 as second, and 1,77,09,427 as precaution doses to the people over 60 years. In the age group 15 to 18 years, 5,92,29,834 doses have been administered as the first dose, and 4,49,81,100 doses as the second dose. In the age group 15 to 18 years, 5,92,29,834 doses have been administered as the first dose, and 4,49,81,100 doses as the second dose. Meanwhile, India reported 1,675 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours, informed the Union Health Ministry on Tuesday. With the addition of fresh cases, India's active cases stand at 14,841. The daily positivity rate of the country is 0.41%. A total of 1,635 people recovered from the disease in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of recoveries to 4,26,00,737. The country also reported 31 COVID-related fatalities, increasing the total reported death count to 5,24,490. 21 new COVID-19 cases in Maharashtra's Thane in 24 hours. With the addition of 21 new COVID-19 cases, the infection count in Maharashtra's Thane district has gone up to 7,09,575, an official said today. These new cases were reported on Monday, he said. The number of deaths in the district remained unchanged at 11,895, and the COVID-19 mortality rate stood at 1.67%, he said. In neighboring Palghar district, the COVID-19 case count stood at 1,63,612 and the fatality toll at 3,407, another official said. COVID-19 update. May 24, India records 1,675 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. Number of COVID-related deaths in last 24 hours, 31. India's active COVID case load currently stands at 14,841. 192.52 crore COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Active cases stand at 0.03%. Recovery rate currently at 98.75%. 1,635 recoveries in the last 24 hours increases the total recoveries to 4,26,00. 737 daily positivity rate, 0.41%. Weekly positivity rate, 0.49%. 84.74 crore total tests conducted so far, 4,07,626 tests conducted in the last 24 hours. Coronavirus in India live updates. FDA lifts hold on Covaxin's clinical trials in U.S. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which has put on hold the Phase 2/3 clinical trials of Bharat Biotech's COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin, in USA, has lifted the pause. Stay with Toy for latest updates. Oxfam America, partners in health and other civil society groups urged U.S. President Joe Biden to press for changes in a draft agreement on waiving intellectual property rights for COVID-19 vaccines, underscoring divisions over the current text. Telangana on Tuesday recorded 50 new COVID-19 cases, taking the tally to 7,92,948. Hyderabad reported the highest number of cases with 35. No fresh fatalities occurred due to the infectious disease, and the death toll continued to be 4,111. With more than 11 lakh vaccine doses administered, India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage crossed 192.65 crore on Tuesday evening, as per the Union Health Ministry report. Chhattisgarh sees 15 COVID-19 cases, no death, active tally stands at 62. Tamil Nadu on Tuesday recorded 59 fresh coronavirus infections, including a returnee from the United Arab Emirates, pushing the overall tally to 34,54,984, while the death toll remained unchanged at 38,025, the health department said. The COVID-19 tally in Madhya Pradesh reached 10,42,276 on Tuesday after the detection of 33 cases, while the death toll increased by 1 to touch 10,736. An 80-year-old woman who was fully vaccinated but was suffering from heart disease, high blood pressure and diabetes succumbed to the infection in Indore. Maharashtra on Tuesday recorded 338 COVID-19 cases, the highest since March 9, taking the tally in the state to 78,83,348, while one death put the toll at 1,47,857. Gujarat on Tuesday recorded 35 new cases of COVID-19 that raised the tally of infections to 12,24,967. With the addition of 31 patients discharged from hospitals during the day, the count of recoveries reached 12,13,837, while the toll stood at 10,944, as no new casualties were reported during the day. Mumbai on Tuesday reported 218 COVID-19 cases, which is a substantial rise from the 150 cases registered a day earlier, taking the tally in the metropolis to 10,63,276, while the death toll remained unchanged at 19,566. More than 107,000 child COVID-19 cases were reported in the United States during the past week, up by about 72% from 2 weeks ago, according to the latest report by the American Academy of Pediatrics, AAP, and the Children's Hospital Association. Malaysia recorded 1,544 new COVID-19 infections as of midnight Monday, bringing the total tally to 4,492,864, according to the Health Ministry. India's COVID vaccination coverage exceeded 192.52, 1,92,52,70,955 crores on Tuesday as per provisional reports by 7 p.m., informed the Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Jammu and Kashmir reported 3 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday, taking the infection tally in the Union Territory to 4,54,207. WHO had earlier suspended the supply of Covaxin through U.S. procurement agencies, after its inspectors identified GMP, good manufacturing practice, deficiencies in the Bharat Biotech's manufacturing plants. The FDA's earlier decision, in April, to put on hold the trials was based on the U.S. firm's decision to voluntarily implement a temporary pause in dosing participants of the jab, following the World Health Organization's observations on Covaxin manufacturing plants in India. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which has put on hold the Phase 2/3 clinical trials of Bharat Biotech's COVID-19 vaccine Covaxin, in USA, has lifted the pause, according to a statement issued by Ocugen Inc., Bharat Biotech's partner for the jab in USA and Canada. 1 in 8 people who were hospitalized with COVID-19 between May 2020 and March 2021 were later diagnosed with myocarditis, or heart inflammation, according to major new research into COVID's clinical long-term effects. The study, published in journal Nature Medicine, suggests that it is the severity of the COVID-19 infection itself which is most closely correlated to the severity of a patient's long COVID symptoms, rather than pre-existing health problems, as speculated so far. Puducherry logged 7 fresh COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours, taking the overall caseload to 1,65,843. A senior official of the Department of Health said. As many as 50% of Indian CEOs acknowledge that COVID pandemic has caused short-term disruption to their industry, but Indian companies have continued to demonstrate resilience as economy rebounds, a survey said on Tuesday. As many as 50% of Indian CEOs acknowledge that COVID pandemic has caused short-term disruption to their industry, but Indian companies have continued to demonstrate resilience as economy rebounds, a survey said on Tuesday. The Kerala Health Department is gearing up to conduct a 3-day COVID-19 vaccination drive exclusively for children from May 25. A Singaporean court handed a civil servant a 4-week jail sentence on Tuesday for leaking information about the relaxation of coronavirus restrictions. Such leaks rarely happen in the city-state, where the government keeps a tight hold on sensitive information, and the civil service is highly regarded. A 29-year-old NRI who recently came to Vadodara in Gujarat from South Africa has been found infected with the BA.5 subvariant of the highly transmittable Omicron variant of coronavirus. The man, who lives in South Africa, had on May 1 tested positive for the coronavirus after he arrived here to meet his parents. He had left for New Zealand on May 10 after testing negative for the virus, Vadodara Municipal Corporation's Chief Health Officer Dr. Divj Patel said. Over 80% of people aged between 15 and 18 years have received the first dose of COVID vaccine, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya said on Tuesday. The global coronavirus caseload has topped 526 million, while the deaths have surged to more than 6.27 million and vaccinations to over 11.44 billion, according to the Johns Hopkins University. Air pollution linked with more severe COVID-19, study common air pollutants, such as small particulate matter and ground-level ozone, are associated with more severe outcomes after COVID-19 infection, including admission to the intensive care unit, ICU, according to a study. The research, published on Tuesday in the Canadian Medical Association Journal, analyzed data on 151,105 people aged 20 years and older with confirmed SARS-CoV-2 infection in 2020 in Ontario, Canada, not living in a long-term care facility. Read, Beijing ramps up COVID quarantine. Shanghai residents decry uneven rules. Beijing stepped up quarantine efforts to end its month-old COVID outbreak as fresh signs of frustration emerged in Shanghai, where some bemoaned unfair curbs with the city of 25 million preparing to lift a prolonged lockdown in just over a week. Even as China's drastic attempts to eradicate COVID entirely, its zero-COVID approach, bite into prospects for the world's second biggest economy, new reported infection numbers remain well below levels seen in many Western cities. The capital reported 48 new cases for Monday among its population of 22 million, with Shanghai reporting fewer than 500. Beijing extends WFH order for millions as COVID cases rise. The Chinese capital extended its work-from-home requirement for many of its 22 million residents to stem a COVID-19 outbreak, while Shanghai deployed more testing and curbs to hold on to its hard-won zero COVID status after 2 months of lockdown. Beijing said 99 new cases were detected on Sunday, up from 61 the previous day, the largest daily tally so far during a month-old outbreak that has consistently seen dozens of new infections every day. Agencies. At World Health Assembly, India expresses dismay over whose excess mortality report. Addressing the World Health Assembly, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya conveyed the collective disappointment of the Central Council of Health and Family Welfare, a representative body of health ministers from all states of India, which had passed a unanimous resolution regarding the approach and methodology of the World Health Organization, who, on its excess mortality report, Delhi witnesses steady decline in COVID cases. 268 fresh infections reported in last 24 hours, witnessing a steady decline in the new COVID cases. The national capital reported 268 fresh infections in the last 24 hours, according to the health bulletin by the Delhi government on Monday. The city had reported 365 cases on Sunday, while 479 and 530 cases were reported on Saturday and Friday respectively last week. With this, the active cases in the city reduced from 1,912 on Sunday to 1,819 today. As many as 9,976 COVID samples were tested in the last 24 hours with a case positivity rate of 2.69%. According to the bulletin, 421 COVID patients recovered from the disease during this period, taking the total number of recoveries in the city to 18,75,802. Chhattisgarh sees 9 COVID-19 cases, no death. Active tally stands at 51. Chhattisgarh on Monday recorded 9 COVID-19 cases, taking the tally to 11,52,388, while the death toll remained unchanged at 14,034, an official said. The 9 cases, at a positivity rate of 0.28%, included 2 in Korba and 1 in Raipur, while 15 districts have no active coronavirus case at present, he said.